777, aka Diz, and this is The Force Always.
Okay, welcome to the show. Let's get on to it. The Star Wars news. Star Wars Celebration is about 18 days away. That's right, 18 days away. Star Wars Celebration. I'll be there along with my beautiful lady. She'll be there too. Star Wars Celebration Chicago 2019, about 18 days away, counting down. Two more news. Speaking of Star Wars Celebration, I'm emphasizing a lot on Star Wars Celebration in Chicago 2019, where I'll give some questions and some answers to help out maybe the process for you being a first timer or maybe a second timer later on in the show in the interview section. So stick around for that. To more news, speaking of the SWCC, which technically is Star Wars Celebration Chicago, but I keep saying it and it may just sort of like get out of control the amount of times I say it, but the excitement is there. But speaking of which, that is Star Wars Celebration Chicago. Warwick Davis, who played Wicket the Ewok and various other characters, especially he was in Solo, A Star Wars Story. You may have seen him. His face actually appeared in that one this time. Warwick Davis, who is and also the main host for Star Wars Celebration, he's now up for photo opportunity and also autographing, so check that one out. He's definitely an iconic character. He's quite a good price. Speaking of the opportunity for photos or autographing, a very expensive individual, Forrest Whitaker. I love Forrest Whitaker in the various roles he's done in the years, but he is quite a pricey an autograph and photo, but he's up as well. Forrest Whitaker, he was in Solo, A Star Wars Story. That's right, just had to sort of reflect there for a moment. But Warwick Davis, the big one, one of the big ones, probably the second biggest if you ask me, the second biggest. Warwick Davis, who played Wicket the Ewok, he is up for autographing and photo opportunities for yourselves, so check that one out. To more news, there is no sign of Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker, for these photo opportunities or autographing yet, but hold on to your hats. They're waiting to really drop that one. You will get Mark Hamill at Star Wars Celebration. If you do not, there will be partial, alright. No, but here I'm sure in the next week, possibly week and a half, will be announced as the big one. You want to get onto that one as soon as you can, because I'm sure that autographing opportunity will go very quickly, and also for photo opportunity. And also, just to sort of say, I did get that opportunity last time, and he is a lovely guy. Those moments that I saw and spoke with him and stuff like that. So that is pretty much the news for this time around. Let's get into the views. Star Wars Celebration has announced that they're going to have Vader Immortal. Vader Immortal, which is a new game coming out this year. It's sort of a partial story about Vader being immortal. But the reason why I've got it in my views section, which is all about story ideas, it's not about views one gets in YouTube or predictions, but Vader Immortal to me is almost like a hint that's been put out there. Could he actually be immortal within the Star Wars universe? As we know, there's, the story we know, the movies. The possibility is there. Because there's a fine line at the moment. We're all sort of curious about what they do with it. In Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Emperor Palpatine sort of discussed that he had learned how to have life live forever through his master, Darth Plagueis. Now, this is a real grey area at the moment. Can this story hold itself or rebirth itself in Episode 9 and the Star Wars sort of storytelling? It can, but there's got to be a strong reason why it's not been presented before. That's the only part that I will sort of state. We need a real good idea that has a reason why it's not been mentioned from Episode 3 all the way to Episode 9. Why this has, and why he or anyone has not been seen. it needs to be known. That's the story idea that needs to be presented to us if they're going to have this immortality with certain characters. Vader could possibly be one, Emperor Palpatine could be one, and Darth Plagueis could be another. The other possibility is Snoke. Now, it's a little bit out there, sort of lazy in a way in its storytelling, but it's been thrown out there to us many decades ago through Episode 3 and the whole story idea with George Lucas. So I think it can work. I would like to see some immortality. The one I would like to see be the most immortal, the one that just keeps resurfacing just because of his character theme, which is revenge. I think Darth Maul would be one of the best, because he just would be like that fly that wouldn't go away, like an annoying fly that just wouldn't go away. A good-looking dark side user fly not going away, but I think that would work. I think somehow he would have got the whole never-ending life sort of thing. I think he's an important character to the hardcore fans, and he visually and his story has a lot of depth that could still be told. But if you're going to have this immortality, it just can only be sort of one. It can't be just a range of people, because then the story becomes just never ending. It's just too predictable. But to have one and a reason why that one has got the immortality. Vader Immortal, the actual game, could be hinting that we may be getting Vader being immortal within the actual saga itself. We don't know. It's definitely a staple character for Star Wars, so I'll be surprised if they do never mention him again in decades to come. But yeah, and the people who played Darth Vader, especially his voice, James Earl Jones, not to sort of say, but we don't live forever, so they've got to decide what they can do, whether they get another person to create his voice, which can be done. A lot of people I know have heard, and I've heard some really good interpretations, but I think personally, I would like to see Darth Maul be the immortal one out of all these. It would be sort of a surprise, and because he's just so bent on revenge, there's a reason there. With Vader, Emperor Palpatine, there's reason, but not an annoying, strong reason like revenge. They just sort of wanted to be the leaders of the universe, and that was it. Anyway, so it's a little bit confusing, my views this week, but it's all about Vader Immortal being announced. That the actual panel is going to be at Star Wars Celebration. It's going to be just after the Episode 9 panel, so I don't know how many people will go there or how many people can get in there. People realise right after the explosion of Episode 9, whatever's going to happen, that the actual panel, so they could, but that's going to be on the Friday. I think it's in the early afternoon, Vader Immortal panel about the actual game, and I'd say canon story ideas. Anyway, that's the views for this time around. Let's get into reviews. The latest trailer for Marvel, Avengers Endgame, I think it's the third actual trailer. I thought I'd review it. I thought for the Avengers, for the Marvel, it's really, really good. Like, I give this trailer probably an 8.5 out of 10. It's really good. Probably not as good as the first, but it still is strong. But the one aspect in this trailer that really comes through is that they got old footage, sort of recreating the vibe for this big build-up for their actual movie. But the reason why I'm mentioning this whole review this week, I don't really like to review things that are non-Star Wars, but obviously the connection to Disney and also the connection to bad versus good. But I think that if we get a trailer or a teaser of Episode 9 that has old footage, like they've done in the Avengers latest teaser trailer for Endgame, it's not what we want. I'm standing up for the people here, but on my behalf, let's say, I want to see new footage, I want to see exciting footage, and it's all got to be about Episode 9. At this stage, we don't want old footage from the other movies. I definitely don't want to see that. That would be lazy and not exciting. the actual teaser trailer needs to be all brand new footage and really exciting ideas for what's going to happen in episode 9. That would just blow people away, in my opinion, and definitely blow me away. But let's go back to the review. So the latest Avengers Endgame, which I think is the third teaser trailer or trailer, whatever you like to call it, I gave it 8.5 out of 10. It was great that it was reminiscent with old footage, but for the Star Wars Episode 9 first teaser trailer, please do not put old footage in it. That's my recommendation. So that's the reviews for this time around. Let's get into interviews 2Q, which is 2 questions. That's the 2Q that I asked myself for you guys out there, and I'm heavily emphasizing on Star Wars Celebration Chicago 2019. The first question: if you don't get your ticket shipped out to you, at the moment we're still all waiting, or some of us at least, are waiting for tickets to be sent that you ordered to be shipped to you. We're still waiting for the tickets. We're, about 3 weeks away from the actual event. Now, there's a lot of us who are coming from overseas who are probably leaving a week before. They really need to factor this into their ticket delivery, but some people are just going to make it. But if you don't get your tickets, there will be people there that you can find out how you can get into the event. I don't know if you'll be able to, have a recreated neck tag thing that they have. It's a beautiful neck tag. The last one was fantastic. In fact, the actual necklace was the metal, the actual medallion that in A New Hope that Luke and Han and Leia sort of got from, destroying the Death Star, which was part of the whole neck sort of holding for the tag sort of thing. That was absolutely a great idea. But if you don't get your tickets shipped to you, it will cause a little bit of confusion, and just sort of a bit more lining up and following up at the event. So probably get there a little bit earlier than you can to hunt down a version of your ticket. I'm sure it can be done. But so far, tickets have not been sent. I've been notified from some people overseas who hold Jedi Master tickets. They've got a sort of notification that their tickets are on the way, and early this morning I personally got notification, so you should be getting that soon if you requested your tickets to be shipped. So they should be fastly coming. Anyway, to more questions. To my second question: should you party at Star Wars Celebration? Meaning after the event, before the event, in between the event, going out on the Saturday night, Friday night, Sunday night, should you do this? In my opinion, it's such a hardcore event that when people line up, if you'll miss your spot in your line, that's one. 2, the recovery stage from going partying will cause you to miss out on a lot of things. In my opinion, I wouldn't party. I would, if there's an event outside there to, something that's simple, maybe do that, but you'd be really want to cutting the end a bit short, because lining up again for the next day panel, you'll have people there lined up already. It's just, even when they don't have an overnight line, which they haven't announced officially yet, people will still be lining up to the closest point where they can line up to. I think partying it's a great social idea, but it just doesn't work at Star Wars Celebration. I love the idea, but it just doesn't work. That's my answer to the question. I wouldn't party. I would just enjoy the event inside the event and very close to the event, and cutting your time short, whatever you do outside the event. Whether that's just visiting Chicago's, iconic sort of features, or just walking the streets, just don't party. Anyway, so that's the whole show for this time around. Jump over to Patreon if you like, where you can check out the 4 sort of ways you can support me financially if you want. I'm here on a weekly basis, so if you don't support me, I'm still here. I do the Star Wars news, views, reviews, and interviews. Subscribe to the channel. Like, share the actual video, would be great. If not, and I will be at the event, Star Wars Celebration Chicago, reporting on various aspects of the event. That would be exciting. You'll get daily videos. And until next week, my friends, Keep rocking.